Dude, I'm gonna fucking kill someone. I swear to God. Hi, hello, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. I have a runny nose as per usual, so the intense redness you will see around my nose right here and my mouth, it's gonna get worse throughout the video, okay? Blame my fucking sinuses. I don't know what's wrong with me. Now, let's get this intro and all of the bullshit out of the way. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter because I am self-absorbed and I need attention. Long time no see. I have a slit in my eyebrow because while I am dating a man, I do need the rest of the world to know that I am not entirely straight. Anything else? There's probably something else that I'm missing, but at this point, who cares? Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the whole doing my room around bullshit still hasn't happened yet. It's fine, but, like, that's why it looks like a barren fucking desert behind me, and I feel very uncomfortable about it. But, like, I had my TV on my dressers, so I had to move that bitch down and, like, get some kind of artwork behind it, so at least I put in enough effort to do that for you guys. All of my blood, sweat, and tears is because of you, so subscribe to me. I don't do this for shits and gigs. I kind of do, actually. Alright, let's get into the meat and beans of this video. Is that the saying? I haven't done a video like this in so long, and I know I always complain about making, like, body mod content or whatever videos, but, like, sometimes I do enjoy it, and I like doing shit like this because I get to give you guys some help and advice, and hopefully you guys don't yell at me too much for saying some of these questions are dumb. No, but okay, seriously, you guys know how I am. Hopefully you do. You know my sarcastic, melodramatic demeanor at this point, so while I am going to be answering these questions as truthfully and thoughtfully as I can, if I do find some questions to be, quite obvious, or things that I have quite clearly stated before, I'm going to make that known, because I do not have a filter. Why do I always paint myself out to be, like, this big bitch when I'm really not? Hashtag YouTube persona. Okay, so mental breakdown over. I asked you guys to send me over some questions, advice, whatever, whether it pertains to me or you, about piercings, body mods, etc. Oh my god, every time I say that, everybody, like, yells at me for the way I say it. I know it's etc., but, like, let me speak the way I want to speak. Thank you. Told you guys to send me some shit on Instagram. You did. Thank you. I will be answering those things for you. Disclaimer! Of course, I am not a professional anything. Not a professional piercer, not a professional tattoo artist, not a professional any fucking thing besides being annoying. That being said, take everything that I am saying with a grain of salt. I am simply an enthusiast who likes to try to explain things and hopefully kind of make shit a bit more clear. Also, the last time I did this video was over a year ago, so if I am answering repeat questions, I don't really think it's a big deal. I don't think anybody remembers besides, like, you guys, a few of you. And I do have a lot more subscribers now than I did then, so I don't think it's a big deal. Let's get into it. I'm sure you've answered this, but best place to get tunnels and plugs. Well, in my description, I always leave links to a bunch of different things. That includes some of my favorite body mod sites. I tend to get most of, like, my plugs and tunnels from, like, Arctic Buffalo, Body Art Forms, and King's Body Jewelry. However, I think I do have Painful Pleasures down there. And then, of course, Stretch It Body Jewelry, who I've been working with for over a year now, and I still have a discount code with them that I do get a 10% commission from, and you get 10% off. And their shit is great. If you would like to see more videos about them, or a video about them, I will link it in the eye, whatever the fuck that is. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I go to, except for, like, I guess for just, like, some pieces of jewelry in general, I will go to, like, Etsy. Advice for someone who just started stretching their ears. Well, I do have two. I do have 2 full videos on how to stretch your ears, so if you would like to know the in-depths of everything, just go watch those. My makeup is just going to be completely off by the end of this. It's really, really hot. But I guess if you just want it broken down, take it slow, make sure you're using the right materials. Please don't keep tapers in, keep your ears moist and hydrated, and try to use natural materials as best as you can. As much as you can. Easiest way to get rid of keloids. The only time I've ever had a keloid, I'm pretty sure, was when I had my nostrils pierced. In all honesty, it was because I got them pierced a day before I had to leave to go to visit my friend in Virginia, and we had a whole month of like Warped Tour road trips. I think we went to like 6 concerts that month. You know, you're not supposed to like put makeup on it or get it dirty, and I was in pits wearing makeup and being sweated on by nasty men. So that's why I got the keloids in the first place. And to be honest, like, while I was washing my face, I really was not taking care of them, and I am genuinely very surprised that they did not get infected or anything. Like, I was, like I said, like, washing them, but I don't think I was doing, like, any kind of, like, sea salt soaks or, like, deep cleansing to them, and I clearly was not taking the best care of them. So that is why I did have keloids for a little bit. I think, honestly, just with time, and then when I got back home from that, I did kind of start to, like, take extra care and, like, washing them and, like, trying to keep makeup away from it. I would say just take your time, do sea salt soaks, buy, like, the H2 Ocean sea salt spray, use that 2 times a day, just keep the area clean and they will go away eventually. However, I know with some people, keloids can tend to like get bigger. It all just depends on your body type and how you personally react to things. So if you do start to notice that they are getting kind of big and they're not shrinking, then that would be the time for you to go to a piercer, talk to them about it, and then from there either take their advice or go to a doctor. Anyone else get a fucking fish smell from their septum piercing? Cause fuck, dude. Yeah, that tends to happen after a stretch, / if I just haven't really given my nose piercing a good swivel. I noticed that it happened a lot when I first got my piercing, but I don't know. It's kind of like how with stretched ears, if you don't clean them often, you get like that nasty ear cheese kind of smell. Yeah, that happens in your nose. Just keep it clean. Sometimes it's inevitable. Sometimes you get used to it. Sometimes you tend to like the smell, because you know when you smell nasty shit and you're like, this is disgusting, but I want more of it. That's what happens sometimes, at least to me. Advise for industrial and helix piercings even though you don't have any. Well, yeah, you're right. I don't have any, so I'm not sure exactly what I could say about them. I do know that the ears are the most common place for keloids to start, so I would say watch out for those. As usual, like you would do with any piercing, keep it clean. I'm going to recommend the same things for every single piercing that you have in terms of keeping it clean, aka sea salt soaks and washing them and just making sure that there's no crust buildup, there's no pus. Try to stay away from like hydrogen peroxide and neosporins. Really, if anything gets infected, all you need to do is sea salt soaks, keep it clean. And then also, you know, the obvious, just don't sleep on a freshly piercing. We love words, we love vocabulary. If you have small ears, should you stretch your ears? Because my ears are really small. Yes. I feel like a lot of people think that my earlobes were very big when I first started stretching. If I can find a picture of my earlobes before I started stretching, which will be kind of hard because I was very emo, so my hair always covered my ears. I had really tiny earlobes. Like, the only big part of my ear actually is like this part. She a big boy, right? My actual earlobes were like very tiny, like little small earlobes. Well, that was the other thing I was supposed to address in the beginning of this video. During quarantine, I had to take out my plugs, and then I came back and I tried putting in my normal size and they wouldn't go in, so I let them out for like a week and they shrunk down very small. So I'm in the process of like slowly stretching them back up to 22 millimeters. So right now they're at about 17 and 18, I think. So anyways, my earlobe started out very small to being a big 22 millimeters. Obviously not at this point in time, but you know what I mean. So that being said, yes, you can still stretch your ears when they're very small. How do you feel about surface piercings, and have you had any experience with healing them? In all honesty, besides like a bridge piercing, it kind of scares me just like knowing that there's like a bar in my skin. So that's kind of the reason why I don't think that I would ever get one. And that being said, no, I have not had any experience with healing them. How long should I wait after getting my septum pierced to stretch it? I would say as soon as you don't feel any pain in it, and as soon as you kind of reach maybe that like 6-month mark. I don't really know because I had my septum pierced for, oh god, it's been so long at this point, maybe like 2 or 3 years before I decided to size up on it. So like mine was like fully well healed at that point. There are time frames that you should stick to, but at the same time, it's your body and you know it best, so just listen to it. Okay, I just now realized that my mic turned off like halfway through that, so apologies if the audio got kind of shitty during part of that, so my bad. When it's been 3 weeks after stretching to 8 gauge and your ears still kind of hurt, what should you do? Let me think. I guess it all depends on whether or not you skipped 7 gauge, whether or not you taped up, what your method of getting there was. In my opinion, I would say to size back down to 6 gauge or 7 gauge, whichever one you were at. Give it at least another 2 weeks to a month and then try it again. It's not gonna hurt, you know. I know it's hard to not be impatient when it comes to stretching your ears and wanting to get them big, but at the same time, if you are feeling pain, discomfort, anything like that, all that's telling you is that your body is not ready and you are basically in the process of fucking it up and ruining the chance to like get to bigger sizes in the future, possibly ruining them, because you know you can have like blowouts and tears and more things that would just set you back even more and make it take an even longer time. I'm planning on becoming a piercer slash tattoo artist. Any advice? Considering I am neither, I don't know. I would advise you to go to a tattoo parlor or a piercing place or both and talk to somebody there. Have you ever had your nipples pierced? I want, but literally terrified. And then go into what you know about nipple piercings, please. No, I have not had my nipples pierced. Not a fan of it. And the reason why is going into what I know about nipple piercings, and that is the fact that legitimately every single person that I know that have had them have had issues with them, whether that be the piercing shifting, the piercing rejecting, whether it be taking a very long time to heal, whether it's them getting infected, whether they had to take out one or both. I don't remember if I said that or not. Either way, every single person I know who's had them has had trouble with them, and like these people aren't dumb or anything, you know, they follow like basic rules, aka don't wear tight bras, don't wear tight shirts, keep the area fresh and clear, thank you construction outside my house. Yeah, I'm going to wait until this beeping stops and charge my camera battery while that happens, so I'll be right back. We'll talk about nipples some more. Alright, it's been over an hour later. Let's get back into this. I know that we were talking about nipple piercings before and I don't remember where I left off, so I'm just gonna leave it where I left off. Sorry if I didn't finish, my bad. If I've wanted a tattoo for a few years, should I get it even though I'm not sure I'll love it forever? Part of me is kind of conflicted about this because you've been wanting it for a few years, so that kind of means that like I feel like you've already made up your mind about it, but like when it comes to the fact that like you're not sure that you're gonna love it forever, that does bring up some problems because you should be getting tattoos that you want to stay on your body because it's a permanent thing. However, I will say that I've basically done this before and I don't think it's a big deal because see, as long as the tattoo is well done and you overall like the execution of it, I kind of think that that's all that matters, because it's not like people you see in public are gonna stop you and say like, you don't like that tattoo, why do you have it? Because they're not gonna know. All they're gonna see is a good tattoo, whether you like the concept or not. And at the end of the day, there is always laser removal, which is expensive, but there's always blast overs too, which is basically just getting something bigger and darker over it, or a cover up. What's the biggest septum size you can start at? I'm going to say 12 gauge to 10 gauge. I know that I personally was pierced at a 12 gauge. I guess it all just depends on what size you're planning to stretch to, or I mean like if you're trying to stretch at all, but I think that's more of a personal thing because it does depend on how much space you have in your septum, like between your cartilage and all that fun shit. And it varies from person to person, so the answer will vary from person to person. So your piercer is going to know, like they're going to give you the best option of which size to start at if you want to start at a bigger size. I cannot get a fucking 16 gauge captive bead ring in my septum, only clickers slash horseshoes. Well, apologies. I've never used a 16 gauge captive bead ring. There are tools that you can buy for it if you can't get it in and out. You can use something like this, which is a septum ring opener or just a ring opener in general. You just put the ring around it, squeeze, and it opens up the piercing and the ball will fall out. And as for getting it in, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't help with this one. I have chronic allergies. How bad of an idea is it to get my septum pierced? Well, coming from someone who is currently suffering from bad allergies and someone who's sick all the time and always has allergies and always has a runny nose and has 3 piercings in her nose, it's still worth it because I look good. So no, it's not a bad idea. What's your thoughts on stretching second lobes? Not for me, but you do you. How do you deal with just really wanting to play with a new piercing? LMAO, I am impatient. I never had this issue. I'm not like a, you know how people are like pickers or whatever, or they like have to be really fidgety and like constantly doing something or playing with something. I'm not one of those people, so I never really had that problem. I just think you need to remind yourself that it's not good and you're gonna make the healing process take longer, and there is a small chance that you will mess something up. So don't take that risk. Septum piercing cleaning routine. Possibly what you use or find easier things to avoid. Well, like I said in my video, your septum, your nose is pretty much self-cleaning. So the septum doesn't really need that much help. Really, all you need to make sure of is that you wash the crusties off of it, like, as it's healing. Sea salt soaks are always fun, or just using sea salt in general, like I said, H2 Ocean. And then just like regular unscented antibacterial hand soap is fine. But septums are, to be honest, pretty low maintenance. Once my septum healed, like after each stretch too, once it healed, I really don't clean it. When I like wash my face or whatever in the morning, at night, or if I take a shower, I will give it a little twist and like let water do its thing, and it's all good. I want plugs, but what if I change my mind after some time? Is there a size from which that they can go back? I know I shouldn't do anything to my body if I think I would regret it. I heard that they can go back. Love you. Thanks. Typically, they say that the biggest, like, this is a general overview, obviously, like I said, with everybody it's gonna be different, but typically, once you hit, like, 0 gauge to 00, that's kind of like the point of no return. Once you hit that size, if you decide to take them out, they will shrink. They may not fully close, but they will shrink. Anything after that, they are going to shrink, but they will never fully close. So I would say maybe just, like, wear fake plugs for a while, see if you actually do like it. Only stretch to a very small size, or stretch to whatever size that you want, but keep in mind that you aren't going to like it forever, or you don't think that you'll like it forever. So somewhere down the line, you're gonna have to get reconstructive surgery. So really, that's up to you if you want to go through all that. Have you ever hit your nose kissing and had your septum sting after? Like a quick kiss too fast? Yes, all the time, actually. Not all the time, but like sometimes, especially now in the winter time with like everything getting sensitive, the tip of my nose just... She real sensitive. She real tender. It happens every winter. It's a piercing thing. Could also be a Maya thing. How long did you wait to stretch your septum? I don't remember. I got it pierced, I think 2 years, because I know I got it pierced when I was 16, and I got it pierced at a 12 gauge. And I know that by the time I was 18, I was at a 10 gauge then. So 2 years. But I also did not like go into getting my septum pierced thinking that I was going to stretch it. I didn't think I was going to stretch it. I just wanted a septum piercing. And then I liked how stretched septums look, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. So what are ear piercings you can comfortably sleep on once healed? Well, considering I only have these, one, I would definitely say not plugs. Plugs are so annoying to sleep on in general. I can't. I've talked about it before though, so I'm not gonna like go too much into it. But as I don't have any piercings, I cannot really answer this. So I would say if anything, maybe like a tragus would be not so fun to sleep on once it is healed, because it could push back into your ear. What do you use to clean your healed piercings / your piercing care routine? Like I said before, sea salt, blah blah blah. Why the fuck is bondage tape so finicky on smaller tapers? I really hope you mean smaller plugs, because you, one, don't wear tapers, and two, should not be using bondage tape and tapers. Kind of confused, kind of worried. Don't do that if you are. If you meant plugs, then I don't know. Bondage tape is pretty finicky in general. I would say maybe try using PTFE tape for now, because it's more of a it is more of a tape kind of material rather than something that sticks to itself kind of material. Words, you know what I'm talking about. Advice on snake bites. I would say it's not 2009, so don't get them, but I'll try to not be an asshole and realize that everybody has their own taste and preferences. I used to have my labret pierced, and lip piercings can really fuck up the gums of your teeth. Keep that in mind. Other than that, lip piercings are not hard to maintain. I can't change my helix hoop, and I'm convinced it's stuck. Can I change it at the shop? Yes, you can. That is also part of their job description. They are there to help you out with those kind of things. This one doesn't really, it's not even like really a question. It just says, my industrial piercing keeps getting bumps and they won't go away. Love your videos. Well, I am sorry about the bumps, but like I said, go to your piercer, see what they say about it, and if they don't go away, go to a doctor and, you know, get them cut off or something. Don't actually though, because I know with some people, if you try to remove the bumps, the keloids, or whatever they may be, they will come back even worse. Talk to a professional about that. If you're already doing all the things that you should be doing to try to get rid of them and they're not going away, then obviously that's when you need to go to somebody in person. Oh my god. I did my first septum stretch and now my nose smells like a dead beaver. Did you experience this as well? Yeah, your nose does tend to stink. It's kind of the fun times that comes along with having a septum piercing. It just comes with the package. Just, you know, keep it clean and you'll be fine. But if it does tend to like kind of stank a little bit at the end of the day, that's nothing bad. Like, it's normal. You're not gross. Do you sit well when getting tattooed / how long can you sit? Well, I've never had a tattoo artist complain about me fidgeting or moving or anything like that, so I would say yes. And how long I can sit, I'm not sure. I think the longest tattoo that I ever sat still for, or that I ever got, was the snake on my arm, and I think that was like a 3.5 hour tattoo, and I only stopped once, like between the line work and the coloring, because I had to use the bathroom. Other than that, I sat there the entire time. I mean, I guess I would say that I sit well. Yeah, I don't know. Tattoos are painful, yes. So far, all the ones that I've gotten have never been anything where I've had to move around a lot. I don't really think that when I'm in pain, I move. Actually, I feel like I more so stiffen up, which is kind of weird. What is your theory about having a bitch ear when it comes to stretching? I don't actually have a theory. I mean, I know that a lot of people have like that one ear that just wants to be an asshole and not work or and not cooperate. They're two different parts of your body and they're going to possibly react differently. Okay, and then how do I deal with my bitch ear? Shit won't stretch. You can try using weights. Now, when it comes to weights, I don't actually... Okay, give me a second. Okay, so firstly, watch my other stretching videos before you do this, because this is not a proper way to stretch your ears. However, if you are having trouble, this is something that you can do half an hour to an hour a day to help it out. Now, you never want to put weights directly into your ear like this, because all that's going to do is stretch out the bottom and it's not going to stretch out the top. That's why you don't stretch with weight. Something that you can do to help it be more even and make the skin more elasticy, I guess, is you can put in a tunnel like so, and then take the weight and put the weight through the tunnel. That way it's not dragging down completely just at the bottom of your ear. It won't necessarily stretch your ear, but it will kind of help get the process going. Also, really make sure that you're massaging them for a very long time if you're having troubles. Alright, I have some scar tissue inside my lip on my Medusa piercing. How could I get rid of it? I've already tried changing the bar to a longer bar. I wore it for about 3 months and it helped a bit, but I've changed back to a shorter bar that's way more comfortable, but the scar tissue has come back. This is weird because it is a Medusa piercing. See, my issue is that I had my labret, or I took out my labret so long ago. I don't actually remember if I had scar tissue around it. I feel like I did, actually. Let me feel if I still have it. I don't think that I still have like scar tissue in it, but now that you say that, I do actually think I remember having it when I had the piercing in. And I had that piercing for 2 or 3 years. So what I'm going to say is I think that that's pretty normal. It also does depend on what exactly you mean, because I'm not sure if you mean scar tissue like here's my lip, right? Is the scar tissue on top, like can you visibly see it, or is it around the bar? Because if it's around the bar, that's pretty normal in my experience. This is another thing where go to a piercer and ask them, because they will be able to tell you. They can actually look at your lip and figure out what's wrong with it, because I can't really answer this question if I'm not seeing what you're talking about, you know? What's the best material to use in your ears after stretching to just keep in? I would say if your ears are fully healed, stone and wood, but if they are in the process of healing, either medical grade like titanium steel, is that what it's called? But natural products are going to be the best for your ears. It also depends on the time of the year, because you do need to change out your jewelry to match the time of the year. For example, in the wintertime, a lot of people like to choose stone because unlike glass and steel, it doesn't get as cold, so your ears won't get irritated as much. You can use wood, horn, or bone. I'm stuck at a 6 gauge and I'm trying to go to a 4 gauge and my goal is 2 gauge. What are some tips? Tips are to watch my other videos and do not jump from 6 gauge to 4 gauge because there is a 5 gauge in between, and do not jump from 4 gauge to 2 gauge because there is a 3 gauge in between. Stretch up by millimeters, start dead stretching, start taping, don't use tapers. Cool. How do you keep your piercings healthy in the winter? Oh wow, that's funny. I didn't actually know this question was gonna come up. Have you found any new body jewelry shops you like? I have not. Is it worth it to get a septum piercing at a larger size? Stretching sounds scary. I would say yeah. Like, I didn't really have any issues being pierced at a 12 gauge, so do it. It's not scary. Oh, also my boyfriend doesn't want me to pierce my septum. Should I get it or should I get it? You should get it because fuck men. More nipple stuff, not gonna answer. Piercing go bang ting ow. Same. Where can I find 8 gauge hinge septum rings with an 8mm diameter, please? Body Art Forms may have some. If not, you can get some custom made, or you can just search Google because Google will help you a lot. Ears started bleeding when I shoved the wood tapers through and gave my whole splinters. Confused. Yeah, bitch, so am I. Please tell me this is a joke. Are wood tapers even a thing? Don't use tapers. Don't use wood to stretch your ears. Moving along. Jesus Christ. Ever re-pierced your septum yourself? Nope, because my septum has never closed up. Did you get your nostrils done at the same time? And if so, how long did it take to get them lined up? I did get them done at the same time, and I can't give you like an exact time. I would say maybe like 5 minutes at the most. I went to a piercer who is now APB certified, so she really like took her time like putting the dots on, erasing them, putting more on, erasing them. Like, she took her time making sure that they were completely symmetrical. But yeah, it was like 5 minutes. Tongue splits, your thoughts on it? I wouldn't do it, but I think that they look cool. Give me reasons to not stretch my septum. You make it look so good. Why would I tell you to not stretch your septum when I think it is the best looking thing you could do with a piercing? I want more facial piercings, but should I wait until I get a job? Because I've both already had piercings when I went to get a job and got piercings while I was at a job where I technically wasn't supposed to have piercings. I would just say fuck it and do it. I'm currently trying to stretch from an 8 gauge to a 6 gauge. Why is this one way more difficult? Well, because 8 gauge to 6 gauge is a 1mm jump, whereas every jump before that was less than 1mm. So that's why you go to 7 gauge first. Would you recommend getting more than one piercing at a time? Because I want to get my nostrils symmetrical. Coming from someone who did this and got their nostrils symmetrical, do it. It's worth it. What size septum would you recommend for someone who is getting one? That's going to be something that your piercer is going to talk to you about and suggest for you, choose for you. It all just depends on your nose size, your nose shape, what you prefer. There really is no right or wrong recommendation. Just curious, is it possible for a septum piercing to reject? Yes. Every piercing can reject, and you can and may have problems with every piercing that you get. I gave myself a stick and poke tattoo last week. Is it supposed to feel kinda crusty? Well, I mean, firstly, you're asking me this as if I have any stick and poke tattoos, or have done any. Just want to make that clear. Don't have that. Not that I want to technically give you advice on this, but yes, it's supposed to feel crusty. Tattoos do that. It's part of the process. They will scab and peel, and don't pick at it. I mean, you already did it, so. Okay, so that was all the reply questions. I have like 2 in my inbox, I think. Alright, stretch lobes. Mine keep getting bitchy for no fucking reason. I wear high quality plugs and tunnels, only stone, glass, or surgical steel, and I massage them with jojoba oil and all that shit, but they still fuck around. Not even after stretching or whatever, mostly when I've been wearing tunnels for a while. I just don't know why. What the fuck could I be doing wrong? This happens to me a lot. I think it's just a thing that happens and that you have to deal with. It is healthy to size down every so often. Give your ears a rest. Try sleeping with your plugs out for a while. Try switching to a different material. It may just be those materials and your body's saying like, fuck you, I don't want this. Like I said, there is always like wood, horn, and bone. Maybe try cutting out steel. And bodies are stupid. The question I have on body mods is, what the hell do I do if I'm having issues with stretching? My right lobe is stubborn and won't let me stretch it. I feel like I'm stuck in my certain size right now, and whenever I try to stretch with PTFE tape, I somehow end up bleeding, even if I wait weeks to stretch again. Also, I overstretch and have cat butt, so that adds to the issues. Yeah, come from someone who has blowouts as well, it does make it very difficult to stretch your ears. It just takes a bit more time and having a bit more patience. Try using a different method of stretching. You can try switching over to bondage tape, or you can start dead stretching. That's really your only 2 options. Yeah, cool. I am so tired, and my throat hurts from talking a lot. So, thank you so much for watching this very long-ass video. Thank you for being patient with me and always understanding the annoying shit that I go through in my life that makes it hard for me to upload consistent content. Thank you for still watching my content that isn't body mod related. Thank you for trusting me to give you this advice when I am not at all qualified to do it. I never try to come off as somebody who is highly educated on these things, but I do just kind of like to be, you know, your obnoxious wannabe know-it-all friend who you can come to get some help with some things, piercing and tattoo and all that fun shit related. If you like this video, if you like me, if you want to see more of my dumbass, make sure to like and comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Why my things, they've never been good lately. Oh my god. My mouth is so dry, I can't do it. That's better. Bye. I'm a fucking mess. Bye.